Well, good evening, good evening, good evening to all you wisdom walkers out there. Want to be wisdom walkers, will be wisdom walkers. This is Jojo Maria and Saroma coming to you with astrology for self mastery for the first half of July. Wow, 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 wow. I really can't believe that we're already into July. I'm still feeling June, but here we are. And, usually I give you a cosmic background, but I came across this picture today, in fact, and I just love it. I just love the colors in it. So I thought I'd share that with you, along with my sunflowers in the background, because, times are really challenging. Let's make no mistake about it. And they're challenging both at a collective level for us as human beings on this planet, as well as individually because we are really, really being asked to go to a higher level. And it is one of the most challenging things. It is initiation. Yeah, because you're being taken out of what you know and you're being thrust into what you don't know, can't know, and you just have to be in it. Yeah. And so, yeah, it's quite a time. So, and it really is a precursor to some really wondrous, wondrous things that are about to show up. Some things have already shown up. It may not be in the news, but it is happening. It really, really is. Hello, Emily SP722. Good to have you here. Wonderful. She has such fabulous energy, as do all of those of you who tune in on a regular basis, and those of you who may be tuning in for the first time. So I have lots of stuff. July is just really, really interesting in its astrology. Thank you, Emily. Because it wasn't like a lot of days with stacked aspects, which we're used to. It's just something every single day. And some days have a little stack. There's 2 days that have a stack, but it's again, just this was in June too. It wasn't so stacked, but it was really powerful. And so there's some really powerful aspects, and one that astrologers have been waiting for a long time. It got predicted decades ago. I'm going to do a special um, I am going to do a special video just on that. I'm waiting for Astro Butterfly to drop her interpretation, but it's called the Barboult basket, or um, Astro Butterfly calls it the cosmic cradle. But more about that in just a moment. Let me share with you the quotes that I gathered to give you an overview of this month. The first one is from the wonderful Lena Stevens of the Power Path. And she says, we could say that we have entered a cycle of maturity. The theme for July is responsibility, a cycle of maturity supporting us to become more of who we are, more authentic, more confident, more responsible, and less swayed by imprinted patterns, childhood programming, and cultural pressures. This is a good month to reset your place in life and begin to act from your own truth and authenticity. Now, you're going to be hearing this theme of us being swayed away from imprinted patterns. You'll hear embedded conditioning, childhood programming, cultural, societal pressures. That really is a huge repetitive theme in the aspects that I'm going to share with you. So Lena she really nailed it as an overview for us. And also from a new astrologer I found named Adama Sesay on astrology.com, says July is a month many astrologers have been highlighting, and for good reason. While the energy is slowing down because we'll experience 3 planets station retrograde, including Mercury, which is what's happening right now, prepare for sudden events, major life breakthroughs, and forward momentum in the vibrant sign of Leo and the humanity driven Aquarius. And then last but not least, Astro Butterfly says, what a month July is. Opening with a lightning bolt, Mars-Uranus conjunction, and ending with a high-stakes lunar nodes ingression, meaning new north and south poles. The most striking signature of the month is the outer planets' synchronization at 4 degrees in their signs, and that's the Barboult basket. This is so rare that I don't recall anything like this happening, at least not since I've been tracking transits. Yeah. And so, as you can see, there really is something big going on, some big shift energy. So, if you are feeling very out of sorts, you should be. If you are kind of pulling your hair out, I'd do it if I had some, or really, just in a state of what is going on and really feeling disrupted and, distracted. And yeah, that's okay because this is an appropriate response to the energetics that we have going on. Absolutely. Now, as I promised last month, and I will continue to do this, I am going to share with you American monthly observances of cultural heritage and diversity. And I learned that July is Disability Pride Month. And this is related to what was called the Disabilities Act. And I think it just happened in the 90s, maybe. But anyway, in Boston, they actually created a Disability Pride Day, and then it has grown into a month. Their theme for this year is the world works better with us. And just a note on this, and I know they'll work on it, but to be fostering and being inclusive about people who are challenged with physical, mental, emotional things, and to say they're disabled doesn't make sense anymore. Of course, they have abilities. So we really have to come up with a different word, a different vocabulary word to address, their particular characteristics and the things that aren't who they are. It's what it is that they're having to deal with to be in this world. So, anyway, happy people challenged by things that are physical, mental, emotional, could be spiritual too. Um, and yeah, let's be very mindful of the fact that the world does work better with diversity of all kinds, Shay. And then it's also French American Heritage Month, which makes sense because, France's revolution begins on July the 14th, back in 1783, I think it is. I didn't look it up, I'm bad. But in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, one of my favorite street festivals of all time takes place, and they call it Bastille Days. That's when they stormed the Bastille on July 14th. And it is so cool. They have a replica of the Eiffel Tower that the students at the engineering school built, and they do the can, and of course, there's all kinds of French pastry. And again, it's just this beautiful street fair, lots of music, lots of people, lots of crazy. But I love that festival. I wish I could get back there before I go off this planet. But happy French American Heritage Month to people who have that in their background, especially people from Canada, all the way down to New Orleans. Ashe. And of course, we are in the middle of our Cancer season. So once again, happy birthday to all you Cancerians out there. And again, here in the Northern Hemisphere, this is summertime. Summertime, summertime. It's a great song. And I hope that you are able to enjoy it, even though there are heat waves going on, there's storms, there's flooding, climate change is real, and El Nino is very real. So hang in there and try to enjoy the summertime as much as you possibly can. Now, our most impactful days for July at the beginning are going to be the 2nd, the 3rd to the 4th, the 7th, the 9th, the 10th, the 14th, and the 15th. That cosmic cradle or Barbault basket, it will have energies happening from the 15th through the 25th. I'll talk more about that. And at the end of the month, it'll be the 20th, the 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 26th, 29th, and then the 30th. So as you can see, we've got a lot of energies that we're going to be moving through. So let's start with Thursday, July 2nd, last week. And we had an aspect that had occurred at the end of June, but I wanted to bring it back around to you because this is when it is exact. And this is Chiron, who recently went into Taurus, squaring exactly with Jupiter that recently went into Leo. And as it says, at the end of June, we had two important ingresses. Chiron moved into Taurus and Jupiter into Leo. On July 2nd, the two formed an exact square, triggering some of our deepest vulnerabilities around rejection, visibility, and the fear of not being accepted for who we are. What gives this transit its unique flavor is that both planets have just entered new signs. Chiron hasn't been in Taurus for more than 4 decades, and Jupiter hasn't been in Leo since 2015. Yeah. So here's some more message. Taurus is the intelligence of the body, discerning what feels safe, nourishing, real, and right, and what's not. Chiron in Taurus has the mandate to restore our somatic intelligence, our ability to feel what's good for us and what's not, to sense our boundaries, and to feel good in ourselves without needing validation or external confirmation. Sounds like self-mastery to me. Leo is the developmental process where we learn to stand as individuals and be seen. Jupiter in Leo then interprets the body's truth through a big identity story. What does this mean about me? Who am I? How am I seen? And what's expected of me? And this is where the Chiron square creates the pressure point. Will I be seen, loved, respected, and wanted if I follow my body's truth? Chiron in Taurus challenges Jupiter and Leo narratives. Everything we thought we knew about our identity, about who we are, and about what makes us valuable may suddenly be questioned. Yeah. And I had a couple of people reach out to me with this very, very exact challenge. Yeah. So it is happening. And of course, this comes up why? Yeah. So that we can ask those deep questions, right? And change a negative into a positive. Exactly. You have to be who you are. If people can't handle it, you know what? See ya. Wouldn't want to be because there are always people out there that can. Mr. Rogers said, people can love you exactly the way you are. Yes, everybody should watch Mr. Rogers. Oh, by the way, Mr. Rogers is on YouTube now. They started to play episodes that you can find them on YouTube, especially if you have some young kids. Yeah, Mr. Rogers. So cool. So then on Friday, July 3rd, we had Mars conjuncting Uranus in Gemini. Yeah. Defy gravity today as a rebellious aspect encouraged us to break away from limiting situations and spice up our lives with change. While we wish for excitement, try not to take impulsive risk as we can fall flat on our faces. And that just means don't react, respond. And then more message for this. This is our first Mars-Uranus conjunction in Gemini since Uranus entered the sign. Our minds are literally short-circuited with the new possibilities Uranus has awakened since it ingressed into Gemini. Mars conjunct Uranus in Gemini is a signature of breakthrough and clarity. However, our mind might still struggle to accept the information download because it's so far outside the normal script. This conjunction is also important because it activates the outer planetary alignment. The 4-degree cradle, also Barbault basket, configuration that unfolds mid-month. Once the possibility is ignited in the mind, everything that follows is the domino effect of that first spark. So this is very, very important to what's going to be happening from the 15th through the 25th, and especially on the 20th of this month. I love it. Very cool. And then on January 4th, which marked the 250th day of the existence of the United States of America, we had Mars in Gemini sextiling Neptune in Aries. This mystic aspect increased our collective curiosity today. Use this energy to attend social events for some stimulating conversation, to have romances with interesting people. Yes, not much firework going on there. But anyway, very interesting that it would be a sextile. I thought it was going to be Pluto and Aquarius jumping up. And then the following day, and as you can see, we've got a sequence going on: second, third, fourth, fifth. And that was last Sunday. And this was Mars in Gemini trining Pluto and Aquarius. So it came the day after the 4th, except if you're in New Zealand, it came on the 4th. Good day to eliminate any obstacles that come our way, as we'll be able to use our wits and emotional intellects to clear a path for success. Just remember to use your personal powers wisely, right? And use them out of love, not fear. So again, too, you see this flow energy that has been going on. And then we get Monday, the 6th, and we had another square. This one is the Sun in Cancer squaring Saturn in Aries. This restrictive aspect can feel burdensome due to the overwhelming duties and responsibilities. Meeting your obligations is important, as slacking off could lead to extra challenges and tension. So just a good reminder, like if you begin something, continue it until it's done. Don't come up with excuses for why you couldn't follow through. And this energy is interesting. It's a square, and squares is not so much that I can say their energy that stops a flow. To me, it's more about this energy that gives a pause to what you thought so that you can stay in alignment with what is going to get you to a happy ending. Because slacking off ain't going to get you to a happy ending. But if you can stay the course, yeah, you want to do that. So again, a little disruptive energy, but a really, really wise message associated with it. And then we jump to Tuesday, July 7th. And on this day, we had Neptune going retrograde. But I wanted to remind you that Neptune is transiting in Aries until 2039. Yeah. Ultimately, Neptune and Aries will teach us that courage and strength are not about force or domination. They have more to do with acting in alignment with our soul, even when it is difficult, requires sacrifices, or leads us to a place of uncertainty, like the times we're in right now. So here's the retrograde message. It'll be retrograde until December 12th. When Neptune is retrograde, it is said that the veil between worlds becomes thinner. Illusions are revealed and truth comes to the surface. What was previously clouded by fantasy or wishful thinking slowly begins to get clear. Neptune retrograde in Aries is an opportunity to confront truths we might have preferred to avoid or bypass, and recognize where we have been avoiding action or conflict. This transit is an opportunity to reevaluate the dreams, desires, and ideals that drive us, reflect on what is worth fighting for, and acknowledge whether we might be following a path that is not in alignment with what is true. Yeah. So we have that going on from now until December the 12th, a really important time for us to discern before we continue going down a wrong road. Yeah, absolutely. And now we go to Thursday into Friday, July 9th and 10th, and we've got the first stacking here because it opens with Venus in Virgo. Venus's ingress into Virgo asks us to be discerning, here we go, in our relationships and financial choices. This combination of energies offers us an opportunity to get clear about what we want and become more selective about how we invest our resources and who we allow into our field. Yes. During this transit, we express love and affection in a grounded and practical way, and we are reminded of the importance of acts of service and of steady, consistent presence. Yeah, it's wonderful. And we get this every year, so it's a really wonderful time. And I love that it's coming with the Mercury retrograde because Venus in Virgo is also about let's slow down and let's discern. Let's take a moment because we want to stay in the path of beauty, right? Yeah, and love. So, more message while Venus is in Virgo from July 6th to August 7th, we have an opportunity to make sure our daily choices reflect what we truly value. In Virgo, Venus highlights the power of our habits, rituals, and routines and reminds us that our everyday decisions create the foundation for our health and reflect our self worth. I have several people I was talking to. I have to pause here because this is really important. Several people that I talked to, and one of them really finally got that. She said to me, Jojo Pa, I realized that if I don't do these routines for my physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health, I am not going to be okay. Exactly. And that's what Venus and Virgo is about, too. It's really bringing that energy for us to love on ourselves and realize if we don't take care of ourselves, if we don't do our routines and our rituals, set our boundaries, get enough sleep, stop engaging with the trauma, rama, drama. Yeah, nobody else can do it. And we won't get to our happy endings. I want to get to my happy ending, don't you? Yeah. So Venus will immediately conjunct the South Node. Then for the rest of the transit, she will do what she knows best: refine, improve, attune to the physical world, take care of the seemingly small, but make all the difference details, and just be in the high discernment, low tolerance for nonsense goddess that she is. Love it, love it, love it. And I'm going to explain to you about the nodes in just a minute, like right now. So here's a reminder, the lunar nodes are tied to karma. So this shift signals development connected to our soul's purpose. That means because, in a couple of weeks, it's going to be, uh, they're shifting out of Pisces and Virgo and going into Aquarius and Leo. And so they're, invisible points from our perspective of looking at the moon and its cycling around us. And yeah, for the last 18 months, as it's been in Pisces and Virgo, we've been drawn to go deeper beyond the obvious. We feel a deep longing for soul connection, realization that we have greater purpose waiting to be filled, and we're drawn to adjust the systems and routines in our everyday lives and make the necessary changes to accommodate our higher purpose and fulfillment of our dreams. We have an opportunity to really break free from unhealthy past conditionings. And there it is. Like I told you, this is a theme that's going to really keep coming up again and again and again. Yes to happy endings. Yes. Thank you, Emily. So important. We have to get really clear about that, folks. Like, there's no other choice. There's just no other choice. Absolutely. So those are the nodes. So what happened is, as soon as Venus went into the sign of Virgo, part of the sky, she conjuncts the south node because that's where it is, also in the Virgo part of the sky. And so Venus conjunct the south node in Virgo is a powerful cosmic signature aspect that asks you to release karmic relationship loops, all that codependency, y'all, hypercritical self-talk, and exhausting perfectionism. It is an invitation to clear out past attachments and stop settling for the familiar, yet limited standards of love you have outgrown. Yes, 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 yes. You just have to love it. You just have to love it. So wonderful. Also, this aspect triggers several specific themes regarding love, self-worth, money, and in particular, releasing scarcity mentality. Because Venus governs value and resources, this aspect challenges you to let go of the urge to micromanage your finances or accept the bare minimum in love and appreciation. It also asks you to let go of the need to micromanage every detail of your life and to trust the natural flow of things rather than relying solely on logic and rigid routines. Yeah, rigid routines, not the self-help, self-care routines you need to do, those more rigid routines, like rushing around and not taking time to meditate. So again, really, really good, powerful aspect that has shown up on the 9th and the 10th just a couple of days ago. And also on the 10th, we had Venus and Virgo trining Chiron in Taurus. This one wasn't on my regular list of things, but I found it from somebody who was doing a video, and I was like, what? Venus is trining Chiron? I got to talk about that. Because Venus is trying to Chiron supports healing through self-acceptance and inspires us to implement new routines, rituals, and habits that support the development of a stronger self-worth, self-love, and self-acceptance. This alignment facilitates a more compassionate relationship with those wounds that lead us to undervalue ourselves, overdo for others to prove our worth, and focus on achievement and productivity in order to feel worthy of love. And I'll say validation, I'll say protection and safety as well. Yeah. All the stuff we think we got to be really getting out a pickaxe for or performing for, when no, 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 my darlings, no. We just really need to stop undervaluing ourselves and realize, like Mr. Rogers said, people can love you exactly the way you are. The question is, can you love you exactly the way you are? Because if you don't love yourself and you're trying to change up something about yourself that you're not pleased with, either weight, either information that you want to be able to have at your fingertips, whatever way it is that you want to grow yourself and become the best version of yourself. If you don't start from a place of loving yourself, you are never going to meet those goals. Or if you meet them, they're going to go away. That's why you see people go through weight loss and it's all wonderful and they're all happy. And then in 6 months, they've gained it all back. Yeah. Because they didn't address that they didn't love themselves. They weren't doing it from a place of love. They were doing a place of competition, judgment, fear. Yeah. So this is really a lovely, lovely aspect that has come to really help us get clear about the fact that we really, really can develop a stronger self-worth, self-love, self-acceptance, and a valuing of who we are just as we are. Ashe. So now we come to today, and we have what is called a Mercury cazimi, because Mercury is conjuncting the sun in the sign of Cancer. When Mercury retrograde conjuncts the sun, a cazimi, we have the initiation of a brand new 4-month Mercury cycle. All new Mercury cycles are important, but this one feels particularly significant since it also coincides with the new moon. So we have two brand new synodic cycles, and that means how they revolve around the sun, um, beginning almost at the same time, joining forces for a major personal reset in the Cancer themes like home, family, belonging, roots, or emotional safety. It's really pretty powerful, like really super powerful today. And you may be feeling that energy, you may be feeling that energy. And, the energy too, because if it's telling us you need to love yourself exactly as you are, it's, of course, things are going to be pushed up to show you how you're not loving yourself. Where it is that you are judging yourself, saying, I'm not enough, if you're aging like me, like, oh, look, I got wrinkles going on, all that kind of stuff. And our job is to say, no, I am so grateful that I can breathe without being on a machine, or if you're on a machine, I'm so grateful the machine is working. I mean, it really comes down to that level of appreciation to be able to just accept ourselves for where we're at right now and open up to, okay, how can I improve? What's going to support me in my improvement? But it has to be a loving response. You cannot do this stuff out of not loving yourself. I keep saying that because it's true. Yeah. And yes, listen, I personally know how hard it is to do self-love. Because I started out thinking, oh, of course I love myself. Of course. I spend $250 every 6 months to get my hair braided in Harlem on 125th Street. I buy the most expensive shoes, like my mama taught me. I have beautiful clothes. Of course I love myself. Really? Yeah. So you can imagine the smackdown I got when I started to learn what loving yourself is really about. Yeah. And it's hard. It's a lot. It's hard. It's taken me years, like over 20 years, to really begin to understand it, let alone start putting it into practice. So I'm saying this to you because I love you and I want you to be the best version of yourself, but from a place of joy, not a place of sorrow or fear. Yeah. So again, it's a process, it's a development process. Keep up the great work. Absolutely. So now tomorrow, and again, I just want you to notice how we've had like one aspect almost every day. I think we got a little break between the 7th and the 9th, but it's a lot. It's a lot. So tomorrow we have another square. This is the third square. This is Venus in Virgo squaring Uranus in Gemini. Today will feel like a roller coaster with so many ups and downs, especially in relationships. Use logic and emotional intelligence to help navigate these changes without losing your mind. And this is just a really good aspect, a lovely aspect to say, make sure that you are going to respond to things rather than react. And do what the monks told you every day. Today's going to be my peaceful day. So you realize that you always have a choice. Yeah. And even if you do get reactive, you can always apologize. You can always let go of being in battle with someone, like there's you can pull back. You can pull back. But this is a wonderful aspect for tomorrow because of that energy to say, just keep it in, keep it in, keep it on the down low. And remember, Mercury is still retrograde. Yeah. Now, it is on July the 14th that we have our New moon. Woo-hoo! And Cancer, Cancer new moon, Cancer full moon, because Cancer is all about sensitivity and all about, I want you to be safe, I want you to be loved, I want you to be cared for. It's usually a kind of gentle energy. And this one is initiating emotional safety from the inside out. So it's gentle, but it's firm, if that makes sense. Gentle, but firm. Yeah, because it is contributing to this movement that we're on to really, really embrace and practice self love, self acceptance, valuing of ourselves. So, just a reminder, new moon in astrology is an invitation to begin anew, a reminder that time is cyclical, that what goes around comes around, that endings are preludes to beginnings, and whatever begins is also meant to end. Once a month, these events catalyze a renewal of energy, inviting us to release what is stagnant and make space for the new. Mm. On a new moon, the sun and the moon symbolizing the conscious and the unconscious, the masculine and the feminine principle are conjunct, meeting on the same degree of the same zodiac sign. They are forming a 0-degree angle from our perspective on Earth, which is an invitation to plant seeds and set intentions for the future. Wonderful. So, new moon in Cancer, emotional journeys. New moons mark the beginning of the lunar cycle and represent a time to plant seeds, set clear intentions for the days ahead, and embark on a new chapter of growth. From now on, the momentum slowly begins to rise for the upcoming 2 weeks until the full moon peak. So, like I said, it's gentle, but it's firm. At this time of the month, the sun and the moon meet on the same degree of the zodiacal wheel and invite us to renew our relationship with the sign that is activated by their conjunction. This month, as the luminaries meet in Cancer, we have an opportunity to embark on a journey of emotional self discovery and explore new definitions of home, family, security, and vulnerability. And I would say, with the overarching theme of really getting into that self love, self acceptance, and valuing of self. New moon in Cancer, healing embedded pain. Here we go. This new moon reminds us that there is no place like home and invites us to connect with the home within ourselves, to come home to our bodies, and to create an inner sanctuary where we can retreat, rest, soften, and heal. Cancer is the home to the most delicate, most vulnerable parts of us, those we might have buried deeply as children because they didn't feel welcomed or accepted because it wasn't safe to express them. Over the upcoming weeks, this lunation invites us to develop a new relationship with our past and with our history, with the stories held in our bodies, with our cellular memory. Wow, this is somatic work for sure. We carry the lived experiences of our ancestors in our bones. We carry both their strength and their weaknesses, their gifts and their pain. This new moon can bring awareness toward how our family history and ancestral patterns are impacting our lives and offer us an opportunity to heal what needs to be and is ready to be healed. This is very powerful. Very, very, very powerful. Because overarching in this, shift into higher consciousness, what all of the astrology energetics of Aquarius and what Pluto being in Aquarius is really about is that we've got to break cycles from the past. We've got to go beyond what our ancestors knew. We use them as inspirators because they went through such challenging times. We can't even imagine, like, how did you get through that? But we're not supposed to be repeating what they have already accomplished and gotten through. Yeah. What does that mean? That means we are not supposed to be here struggling and suffering to the degree that so many of us still are in comfort. So many people in America really do live in comfort. It's luxury compared to some places around the world. It's luxury, but they're struggling and suffering. Yeah. Absolutely. So again, this moon, all the energies of all most of these aspects I've been sharing with you, it is about this. Let's love ourselves now. Let's be able to accept that we're carrying, conditionings and teachings and pain from the past that we really don't have to be engaging anymore. Yeah. Like, we can get beyond that. This is huge, okay? This is not a little thing. I have been learning about this 2 decades ago when I first really got to start looking at what's going on cosmically. Yeah. So it's not like this is just overnight, but here we're in a next level of this higher consciousness to really get to a place where we can free ourselves up from repeating the past. Because as you all know, there's so many things that have been going on in 2026 that have been parallel to 1926. And we're not in the 1900s anymore. This is the 2000. We're in the 21st century. Yeah. And I got Daphne chiming in. Yep. We can go beyond that. Absolutely. Yes. And it is so promising. It really is. She said, I created an altar today with this theme, my growing edge, ancestral healing movement, forward and beyond. Absolutely. And as Daphne knows, I did a workshop healing ancestral wounds, healing the family wounds. I call it family wounds. That's right. Healing the family wounds. How long ago was that, Daphne? It must have been back in 2006, maybe 7, 8, something like that. Something like that. So yeah, it's been almost 20 years that I've been working consciously on this and helping other people to step into it as well. So yeah, I should bring it back. Yes, yes, I will definitely bring it back. And it was 209, she said. Yeah, yeah. It's coming. It's coming. Once we get through this huge shift this year, probably in 2027, I think they might let me do it. That would be really super great. So I love this Cancer moon, gentle but firm. We have to go beyond. Here are the aspects related to this. And Emily's saying, yes. Here are the aspects related to this, Daphne too. Yes, it's going to happen. Because you two are you all are manifesting it. You're calling it up. I know it's going to happen for sure with you two. New moon and Cancer aspects, the sun and the moon will be conjunct retrograde Mercury and square Saturn in Aries. This configuration will invite us to pay attention to the defense mechanisms we rely on when we feel uncomfortable or triggered, asking us to work on becoming more emotionally honest and open with both ourselves and others. And this is also important. This is about speaking your truth when you get disrupted, instead of just taking it on, instead of just being somebody's emotional dumping ground. Because, people are going to transfer their pain, but you don't have to take it. And you can very politely say to them, when you speak to me like that, or when you do that certain thing, it really shuts me down. And I'd really like to stay open and connected to you. But when you do that, it's impossible for me to do. So I'm going to go now. And may you be well, happy, and peaceful. Bless and disconnect. Absolutely. So during the upcoming month, we will have a chance to recognize ways of thinking and behaving that are a result of our childhood wounds and past conditioning and begin to create new habits. Woo! Absolutely. Don't I have some applause here? Yeah, I gotta play some. That is so important. So important. It makes me very excited. We'll see a lot of things shifting if people can let go of that past conditioning. Absolutely. Now, I'm going to jump to the 15th and give you kind of a beginning bit of information about this cosmic cradle and the Barbault basket, because the aspect that happens on the 15th, you'll have a better appreciation of it, understanding of it, once I tell you about the basket. So here we go. July 15th, the basket. Cosmic cradle, also known as the André Barbault basket. On July 20th, all the outer planets and Jupiter align at 4 degrees of their sign, and that will be Jupiter and Pluto and Neptune and Uranus. And so from the 15th through the 25th, they're going to be doing some sextiling, some trining, and Jupiter and Pluto will be in an opposition on the 20th. So this is an incredible configuration. It's very harmonious. It's a harmonic convergence in a way. It's pretty powerful energy. So those of you who are really empathic, just be aware that from the 15th to the 25th, those 10 days, we are going to be feeling it. Yeah. So here's a little more about this. There are moments in astrology that seem to gather time itself into a single breath. Moments where the planets don't simply move through the sky, but weave themselves into a pattern, a language, a living architecture of possibility. The Barbault basket is one of those moments. Named after French astrologer André Barbault, who specialized in tracking long-term historical cycles of the slow-moving outer planets, Jupiter through Pluto, and the seismic societal shifts that have coincided with their meetings. And we call this mundane astrology. Barbault died in 2019 at age 89 after making a lifetime of eerily accurate predictions, including one linked to COVID-19, which came true shortly after his passing. After his harmonious convergence on July 20, Barbault predicted a major shift in society would follow. Mhm. Now, between July 15th and 25th, all the outer planets and Jupiter align 4 degrees of their signs. This is unprecedented. This is like crazy. Aries, Gemini, Leo, and Aquarius all shaking hands, plotting their agenda for the next maybe decades of our collective reality. And so here are the sextiles. As you can see, 15th, we got a sextile. 18th, we got a trine. 20th, we've got trine. 20th, again, we have no opposition. 21st, we have a sextile. And then on the 21st, 25th, we have a sextile. Very, very, very powerful. So here's some spiritual invitations and wisdom related to this cosmic cradle Barbault basket. The Barbault basket is therefore not simply an omen of the outer world change. It is an invitation into participation. It speaks to the part of us that knows the future is not something we wait for. It is something we become available to, something we channel through our choices, our creations, our courage, our communities. I love that alliteration, and our willingness to think differently and live differently. Collectively, this configuration may coincide with breakthroughs in technology, science, creativity, social structures, and global imagination. But personally, it may feel like a moment of inner reorientation, a sense that the old map no longer holds the same authority, a sense that something new is calling, not from outside of us, but from the future self already alive in us. Hold that for a moment. The future self is already in you. It already exists in you. Your job is to, get rid of the weeds, knock down the walls so that that can come into existence. Isn't that just wonderful? Yeah, because you were born full. Remember, I always say that? You were born full. So the future is already inside of you. The self mastery work is so that you can get access to it. And of course, that would mean I gotta break the cycles of the family wound. I've got to get beyond what my ancestors did. And I got to really learn how to love myself despite whatever conditioning and childhood trauma rama I have been through. This is fabulous, deliciously fabulous. The Barbault basket or cosmic cradle reminds us that even in times of uncertainty, the cosmos continues to weave patterns of intelligence. That chaos is not always collapse. Sometimes it's rearrangement. Sometimes it's the shaking loose of an old order so that a more awakened one may begin to breathe. This is a threshold of imagination, courage, and collective becoming. Oh, I love that. A moment to listen for the future, to trust the visions that arrive with electricity in our bones, to honor the dreams that feel bigger than us, yet somehow deeply ours. A basket is made to carry something. Perhaps this one carries the seeds of who we are becoming. Wow. I just don't know what to say. I read this and I just fell out. I'm like, oh my God. It's like she put everything into words that I was feeling. Emily says, yeah, it would be nice to be in a community with this work. Yeah, definitely. It's going to happen. 2027. Hey, Tracy. Tracy chiming in. So, yeah, I just wanted you to know about this. Like I said, I'm waiting for Astro Butterfly to drop her interpretation because my girl, she just goes deep and she knows fairy tales and fables and Jungian psychology, and she always bring it. She bring it deep. So I can't wait to see what she's going to have to say about it. But just be aware that we are going through a time that astrologers and others have been waiting for. And again, this stuff isn't like, excuse me, overnight we're going to see all the breakthroughs, all the cleaning out. But with this kind of energy present in our collective consciousness, because remember, the outer planets represent our collective consciousness, okay? With all of them coming together at the number 4, and numerologically 4 is about what? Yeah, it's about foundation, but it's also about it's also about like, okay, we're setting a direction, we're setting a direction and we're getting a clarity. So the fact that it's all in 4, that's not a coincidence. This is so symbolic from the universe, and it's cosmic language, the architect of this new time that we're coming into. Yeah. It's just wonderful. I'm just like, ah! Oh, Miss Carolyn, yes, the rest of July will be very exciting. Love you. I was thinking about you. I was going to call you because I'm like, oh my God, do you know about the basket? Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Love you too, my dear. And so For the 15th, we have the first of these 4-degree meetups. And this one is Uranus and Gemini sextiling Neptune, which is retrograde in Aries. I wanted to share this with you because this same configuration happened last year on August the 28th. And it said the end of August brings us a rare, auspicious alignment. Aspects between outer planets are always important. They mark generational milestones and influence the collective as a whole. This is when we begin to concretely see how the energy of this new era is playing out. So that was the message last year. Here it is for this year. Big phoenix energy rising up from the ashes today as we rise from the ashes of the past and forge a new pathway forward. Use this bold energy to make some moves and start the life you've always dreamed of. I rest my case. I rest my case. What can I say? You hear about the basket and then this, bam, like, whoa, there's something moving here. There's something going on. Yeah, we're not dreaming, we're not making it up. It is really, really happening. So I have been saying it's been maybe since the beginning of the year, but definitely I know very consciously it's been over the last 3 months because my friend of mine asked me, she said, what does that mean? Why do you keep saying wondrous things are coming, And I could explain a little bit, but because I don't, it's not like I know the details, but I know the feeling of it. I know the messaging of it. And it is wondrous things are coming. And yeah, we've gone through the good, the bad, and the ugly, to get to the other side, but things really are coming. And here's another reminder cosmically that we got about this grand trine minor, the magic triangle. And from 2025 to 2028, again, this configuration with Uranus in Gemini, Neptune in Aries, and Pluto in Aquarius, both of those retrograde right now, harmoniously aligned in this magic triangle, which of course is why you're getting the Barboult basket too, because of this configuration. So this is a foundational configuration adding to the basket, making the basket happen. And it says here, this magic triangle is the most positive, significant, and consequential planetary alignment of our lifetimes and the century. Those with Aries, Gemini, and Aquarius in their birth sign, meaning and their sun sign is Aries, Gemini, or Aquarius, are most effective. However, the amazing period of discovery and revelation can benefit everyone. It's just wonderful. Tracy says, I can definitely feel something stirring. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And so just a reminder, please pray for world peace. People don't realize that there are actually people that live in the Strait of Hormuz. I'm probably saying it right, wrong, but there are actually people that live there, call that home, and are going through hell with all this conflict, never knowing when a bomb is going to drop, trying to live their lives. I found a video that was sharing about that, about how people live in that region, and learning about their lifestyle, their custom. I'll leave a link to that in the description box of the YouTube. I'll do that tomorrow when I put in the timestamps for you. But I think everybody needs to know that guess what? There are people there. Because, when you hear about the strait that the ships have to go through, you don't think that people are actually living there. But people actually are living there. Yeah. And being hurt and traumatized by this so-called war. Yeah. Thank you, Daphne. Yeah. We have to keep up the world peace. And also, I just encourage you every day, wake up, write this down. Today is going to be my peaceful day. Ashe. Hanakara says peace is going to happen in this world. It's got to happen from the inside out. We have to learn how to make ourselves peaceful. Absolutely. And as always, my book, Wisdom Walk to Self-Mastery, Ancient Wisdom for Transforming Pain, available in Amazon, Abe's Books, Thrift Books, probably in Half Price Books, my favorite bookstore in the whole world. But again, it's there for you to support you in an ancient indigenously spiritual way to do your self-mastery work and come out on the other side, and especially doing that forgiveness. Like, we have to keep doing that forgiveness work. Yeah. So, my darlings, that's what I have for you. And I will be back. I'm really thinking I am going to come back next week. I was just going to do the special report on the basket. If I know what it is, if Astro Butterfly has it done, then I'll come back. If not, I'll wait until the week of the full moon. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Keep your journals, keep writing down things that you're seeing that are happening, what's going on for you, what are you noticing? And again, this beautiful theme about self-love, self-acceptance, self-worth, with Venus being in Virgo and doing its work, this beautiful new moon that we're going to have in a couple of days, it's all there. It's all right there. Oh my God, Emily's reading my book. Oh my God, thank you, thank you, thank you for your feedback. I love it. I never get tired of it. There may be some authors that'll be like, yeah, okay, yeah, right, right. No, never. I am so grateful because I will never forget the 10 years that I spent developing that book, and the 2 or 3 years that it took me to actually write it out. As Miss Carolyn remembers, she's my cheerleader, her and Miss Sarah, trying to keep me going, and they did. Thank you again so much, my darlings. Yes, you're welcome. You're so welcome, Daphne, and you're so welcome, Tracy. Thank you, thank you. I love you all. I'm so grateful that you're here and that we're all going through this together. And oh my God, thank you, Emily. I love it. But that we are not alone. And it is so important that we remember that. And we do have each other. And God willing, I will have enough strength and energy to actually provide opportunity for those of you who regularly are wisdom walking to come together in community and for us to do some delicious work together. Yeah, absolutely. Be well, be safe, be happy and peaceful, and stay cool as you can in this weather. We're getting ready to have a big heat wave here in the Midwest. And yeah, take good care of yourselves. Take good care. Thank you. And I will be back with you soon. And thank you again so much for listening, for watching, for commenting, and for supporting my important work. Thank you. Talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.